Hey everyone, I hope you're doing well and staying safe during this time. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Like I said, thank you so much for checking me out. If you haven't done so, please make sure to hit that subscribe button just right below the video. Cool, thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. And if you're returning, welcome back. Thanks again for your support. I truly do appreciate having you here.
And I got this aggressively average content for you today. As guys, today's gonna be an important video. As here on Instagram I posted this. This document was found by King Solomon. And here it is irrefutable evidence that the Central Bank of Russia was using Ripple and XRP's technology. This is important as we see the massive sanctions that are being given to Russia as we speak. The EU and the US have sanctioned Russia. And this could be a monstrosity of a catalyst for XRP adoption. First of all, I want to explain something very quickly. Russian sanctions with SWIFT will be bad for the US in the long run. The United States printed the dollar into oblivion and the dollar-dominated SWIFT system is ending. In will come a gold-backed stablecoin in my opinion. In will come a China-Russia-backed payment system. Remember, XRP was always meant to replace SWIFT, and Greg Kidd stated in an interview with DAI that XRP will replace Nostro Vostro accounts. Remember this quote from Bitcoin.com talking about gold-backed stablecoins and Russia looking to legalize that. They will be government-backed, and I do believe, in my opinion, this specific moment is where all of this can get rolled out. Here, this article writes how China's SWIFT alternative may undercut US sanctions. Now, after 2 years of a health crisis that hyperinflated the US dollar into oblivion, we have World War III. This is yet another geopolitical black swan event. People could have seen this one coming. It was very clear tensions were rising, but now we have another event that one could continue to see inflation rise, especially with US government spending, and two, has SWIFT at the forefront. We knew XRP was going to be birthed out of a financial catastrophe. And what's crazy is that crypto is at the forefront of the world stage. Here we see a Ukrainian citizen states that their credit cards no longer work. Crypto is the only money they have. In the XRP community, we have some Russian citizens who had their Apple Pay and Google Pay suspended. These sanctions are in effect, and boy oh boy, I'll tell you what. With the Ukrainian Central Bank suspending the use of electronic money, we saw that Ukraine's official Twitter account pleads for crypto donations amid this invasion. This is so important. This is the fact of the matter. Crypto is taking center stage, and so is the SWIFT system. We have to remember a couple of things. In 2020, Ripple's Chris Larson stated explicitly XRP can replace SWIFT. Banks would trust XRP rather than Bitcoin, so Bitcoin maximalists seriously need to reconsider any type of Bitcoin as a world reserve currency because that is just irrational. However, the evidence is there for how SWIFT can potentially adopt this technology. First of all, guys, I'm going to play you a brief clip from a recent King Solomon video. Please give him a follow and subscribe to his channel, as he's been dropping bombshells on how quickly this system could get adopted. Please take a listen.
December, we see that SWIFT was exploring the expansion of its network into the digital asset market, talking about Clearstream, Northern Trust, Settle. I'll try to link my other video that I did about this within this video. So yeah, SWIFT certainly deals in, the vast majority of all payments transactions in the entire world. All the banking institutions, all the legacy and financial institutions that you and I use, more than likely utilize the SWIFT network from a payments messaging standpoint. Essentially just the data, correct? Because the clearing and settlement still has to happen on the back end. But this was in December, and look what comes out. This was just released yesterday, okay? This is their MT standards, so messaging standards, November 2022. I believe these go live. These are the changes. This was published on the 25th of February. Now, interestingly enough, if we go down through here, they will consistently provide updates. These are updates by category. Again, just released yesterday. No changes to customer payments and checks. No changes to financial institution transfers. No changes to foreign exchange. No changes to collections. When we get down into securities markets, now, to give you guys a heads up, SWIFT is utilized for securities market infrastructures, including ASX, so the Australian Stock Exchange, Clearstream, DTCC, Euroclear, I believe that's Target 2. Underneath all their changes for securities markets, now I believe M is mandatory and O is optional. They have O, optional, and it's blockchain address or wallet or cash account. Blockchain address or wallet or cash account. Under every one of these things, as far as all the changes to the security markets messaging aspects, and you can delve into this. I'll post this link. This is order to buy or sell. I mean, if you want the explanation of what the MT, the numbers after it mean, given this framework. Found it very interesting. November 2022, these are changes going to be implemented into SWIFT for Category 5 securities markets. Either a blockchain address slash wallet or a cash account under all of these different things. Now, 502 is order to buy or sell funds. 514, I think it's quantity, trade allocation instruction. 515, client confirmation of purchase for sale. And 518, market side securities trade confirmation. So, wonder what they're building. Hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Later.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's an interesting question. I too wonder what the hell they're building. November 2022, all these changes need to be implemented. SWIFT 100% is exploring digital assets. And here at the same time, this ISO 20022 standard, it will get adopted. Ladies and gentlemen, the 5 cryptos tied to ISO 20022 include XRP, Stellar, IOTA, XDC, and Algorand. And you better believe XRP is at the heart of this transition away from the US dollar-dominated SWIFT system. Here, before I continue, I'm going to play you a brief clip from Jim Rickards explaining how the US dollar is about to die and how these sanctions are a catalyst for it.
These countries are trying to get out from under dollar hegemony, and that's going to happen.
And then there goes the power of the U.S. to impose these sanctions, right?
Correct, because if you, first of all, they're all building alternate payment systems. Even the German foreign minister the other day said Europe needs an alternate payment system. They could do cryptocurrencies. I'm not saying buy Bitcoin. I don't like Bitcoin at all. But you could create a new cryptocurrency with a distributed ledger with China and Putin. So imagine a Xi coin and a Putin coin. They could denominate it in STRs. That's a special drawing right. That's the world money that comes from the IMF. They could back it up with gold. And notice that the dollar is not involved. Everything I just described doesn't involve the dollar. So that's why this could, if the U.S. doesn't reassert dollar hegemony, one good way to do that would be if the U.S. started buying more gold. I don't expect that to happen, but that would be part of my advice. If the U.S. doesn't do that, again, this whole alternate system, it's being created now. This is not science fiction, but it could affect the dollar very, very rapidly.
Ladies and gentlemen, we saw Jim Rickards right there talk about how China and Russia can create their own system. They could potentially tie it to the SDR as well, and I'll give you guys a little more insight on that in just a second. Here from CoinDesk, we see that the European Central Bank wants quick action on crypto regulation following Russian sanctions. The head of the European Central Bank is Christine Lagarde, and we know how closely tied she is to Ripple. She is a big fan of Ripple, XRP, Brad Garlinghouse, and at her time at the IMF, she laid down the foundations for what I believe will be the future ESDR. The ESDR, in my opinion, will eventually be XRP. That is only speculation at this moment in time, but that's not unfounded at all. XRP, along with a basket of central bank digital currencies, including the US dollar, the yen, the pound, the euro, and the won. Here, guys, as we continue, I'm going to play you a brief clip from Kristalina Georgieva, the current head of the IMF, explaining XRP's exact use case and utility. XRP was built for a liquidity crisis to be a liquidity solution for a massive financial situation similar to what we're experiencing right now. And you better believe all these pieces of evidence are aligning for a massive fireworks display of a moment for our digital asset. Please take a listen.
More growth can we create new jobs in the new green economy? And the answer is, of course, if we have the right policies and incentives, we can then create a momentum for the tremendous liquidity we have in the world that is sitting idle. And then have a new, hopefully upswing. Some are talking about a way to stimulate inflation, Kuroda-san, by having that investment momentum that makes the liquidity moving a little bit faster.
Ladies and gentlemen, liquidity, liquidity, liquidity will be the key phrase of 2022 in my opinion. And that tremendous liquidity that is standing idly by will be ready to be unlocked. I speculate that with no delays in sight, that this SDR revaluation is going to happen this July 31st, 2022, as it states on the IMF website. This aligns, 1, with the end of this XRP case, 2, with the ISO standard, and in November 2022, these changes SWIFT is going to make. 2022 is going to be a special year for the changes in the global financial system, and you better believe XRP will be at the heart of it. Now guys, we saw the other day that India was making moves towards Russia and their payment system. Here we see that India explores rupee payment mechanism for trade with Russia to soften sanction blow. Oh guys, you better believe India and Russia are in bed together. Slowly but surely, you're going to be hearing the phrase BRICS nations coming to the forefront as well, just like the XRP army has been talking for years about SWIFT and SWIFT being replaced. We've been talking about the BRICS nations and how they're aiming for their own payment system. Guys, the BRICS nations specifically, I'm going to show you this. They were talking about a one-stop digital platform for small and medium-sized enterprises. This is important, and I'm going to show you why. Here, at around the exact same time that page that I just showed you a couple seconds ago was posted, Ripple came out with this document titled Big Opportunity in Small Business Payments. Now is the time to capitalize on SMEs, cross-border payments. This was a strategic strategy shift in Ripple's business model, and this was a powerful one. Here we see the statistics, 10 to 15 trillion dollars in SME cross-border payment flows. Guys, this is all connected. There are no coincidences anymore, and anyone that still thinks that all these ties between Ripple, XRP, and all these countries and all these use cases is a coincidence, you better get your head out of your you-know-what. Guys, we know that Brazil is part of those BRICS nations as well. And we remember in 2019 that Ripple launched its operations in Brazil as well. At the same time, the Brazilian central bank announced a central bank digital currency plan. 1 year, a meeting with Ripple. Remember in 2020 that Brad Garlinghouse met with the Bank of Brazil in a secret closed-door meeting. And look at what happens immediately after. More Ripple ties to the BRICS nations. Ladies and gentlemen, one more thing. Earlier last year, Mercury is going to boost remittance time and money savings to South Africa using on-demand liquidity. One of the hardest connections I've personally been able to make is XRP's connections to South Africa. It was hard for me to come with evidence to find that connection, but here it is. The BRICS nations, all 5 of them, have ties to Ripple and XRP's payment system. On-demand liquidity is worldwide. On-demand liquidity will be, in my opinion, and this is just speculation of course, part of the alternative payment system. The catalysts are these Russian sanctions, and the world is tired of the US crippling the world economy. The weaponized nature of the US dollar is coming to an end, my friends. And we're invested in the digital asset that will be at the heart of that. There are no coincidences when it comes to the state of the world right now. And don't you dare for 1 second believe that the end of this case, which in my opinion is also fast approaching, is not correlated with these world events, because it is. I'm gonna play you a brief clip from Mr. and Mrs. Hogan the other day explaining to you more conclusive evidence that Ripple is innocent and that XRP is not a security. The SEC is in the wrong and always has been in the wrong. And I'm just waiting for the day we hear on Twitter that this case is over and XRP can finally fly.
Legal memo addressed Ripple's initial business strategy, and this is what is said about the initial business strategy. Looking at the second page, Roman numeral 3, paragraph A. Is sold to investors who provide founders with the capital necessary to launch and operate new coin, which later became Ripple. The coins will likely be considered securities and subject to regulation under federal securities laws. So Ripple must have just ignored this advice and moved forward anyways, right? No, in fact, Ripple instead took this advice and came up with a revised business plan, which included not making sales of XRP to individual retail purchasers, but only to wholesale exchanges, and instead focused on obtaining private equity funding in order to build out the XRP ledger. And then, after making those changes to its business plan, Ripple went back to the law firm and received the October 2012 memo. And here is what that memo concludes. Looking at page 4, we believe that a compelling argument can be made that Ripple credits, which would become XRP, do not constitute securities under federal laws. Given the lack of applicable case law, we believe there is some risk, albeit small, that the SEC disagrees with our analysis. Well, now, as we know, the SEC did not disagree with that analysis and did not state that XRP was a security, despite knowing exactly what Ripple was doing with XRP, all the way until it filed the lawsuit 8 years later. And then going back to the memo for a minute. Later in the memo, under the legal analysis section, the memo states, we understand that the primary reason for purchasing Ripple credits, XRP, is to facilitate online commerce, not to engage in speculative investment trading. As such, given the commercial nature here, Ripple credits, which is XRP, should not be considered securities. And so, Judge, Ripple followed the legal advice contained in the October 2012 memo to a T. And later in 2018, Director Hinman's 2018 speech actually reinforced this legal opinion that Ripple had been provided 6 years prior.
And there you have it, my friends. All these events aligning at the same time. It's one of those things where I pray for the world genuinely every day. Most people, they are ignorant to what's going on. Only 0.2% of the population owns any amount of XRP at all. And only 0.005% of the population owns over 5,000 XRP. Ladies and gentlemen, own as much XRP as you can, because those numbers, in my opinion, do correlate directly for what it's going to mean to be the new 1%. You always have to go against what the herd of people are doing. In my opinion, the sentiment of the crypto space is shifting. We have gone into extreme fear mode due to the fact that these actions are happening geopolitically. And while I've told all of you I'm being extremely cautious and accumulating cash in the event of a cataclysmic crash, I still believe an altcoin season is possible, and if it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen soon. We have to be on our toes. We are ready for both scenarios. We're gonna take aggressive profits if we happen to go up, which I do believe. Or we're gonna buy the damn dip with cash positions on hand if we go down with immaculate entry points. We get rich on the way up, and we get wealthy buying immaculate entry points at rock bottom prices. It's a win-win scenario for those that can control their emotions and understand what's going on here. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, my friends. The state of the world is volatile. And here we are in the most volatile asset class on the planet, correctly positioned on the right side of history. The next few days, weeks, and months are going to be historic. And fortunately for the XRP community, we've positioned our chess pieces in place for the greatest financial checkmate you'll ever see. Books will be written about us, and it's because we made it through hell. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Bearable Bull here. Thanks for tuning in. I'm gonna cap off this video today with Charles Hoskinson giving his 2 cents on the Bill Hinman change of opinion speech. Please, in the comments below, you tell me what you think about everything presented in this video, as our time really seems to be approaching.
I'm your guy. I will keep you posted. I'm your advocate. I'll be back on a daily basis, usually multiple times per day, with these videos to keep you updated with everything going on. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't done so, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Feel free to share any of my videos with your friends, family, social media, or anybody who may care to listen. Thanks so much for your continued support. I'm always here for you. I want to help you through this time. So thank you so much for continuing to choose me. Enjoy your day, stay safe, and I'll catch you again probably in a couple hours. Thanks, everybody. See you later.